Hey, this is Jeff. Welcome to Walkthrough 15 of Belthan's Coito Ergo Sum. Last time we collected some more dramatic patterns in Pahrump, and since we're here, we'll answer some more questions about the town. First one is about an unmarked quest to prove two mole rats was exaggerating a little bit when he said his people had forsaken technology. One clue is in the schoolhouse. You can only get it if class is in session, which it should be since it took us all night to clear the ghouls out of the cherry orchard.
Who knows how to estimate how much hydraulic fluid this cylinder holds? Anyone? I'll give you a hint. You need to use pie.
Excuse me, Miss Saffron? I have a question. Robots are neat, but if technology is bad, why are we learning to fix one?
Technology is not bad. Our ancestors just knew it would be a long time before anyone built new machines, so they didn't waste them on silly things.
Thanks. That makes a lot more sense than Dad's explanation. You know how his stories are.
Hello?
I'd love to chat, but would you kindly come by after class? The children are really engaged and I don't want to lose that momentum.
All right, we'll do that. Another clue is right across the street in Saffrons' house. Cheat sheet says we're looking for a TV. I guess that's the bedroom. Wine. Kitchen. Oh, there it is. I guess she curls up with a glass of wine and watches TV. Working holovid player and TV. The owner is a fan of pre-war romances. Why am I not surprised? Back here on the hill near the farms behind two mole rats' house, you have these windmills, which are another clue. The windmills generate electricity, pump water, or both. The water is clean, but a Geiger counter controls an automatic cutoff valve. Interesting. Past the water tower, there's another clue right over here in the fire station back lot. This burned building. My explosive skill isn't high enough to tell what started the fire, but firefighting equipment and construction materials nearby suggest this may be a recurring ritual. Okay, here in the saloon, we have another clue. I think we need to talk to one of the employees.
Hello!
Can I get a drink?
Help yourself. Oh, but if it's labeled ethanol, don't drink it. That's for the machines. A little bit might give you a buzz, but much more than that, and it'll kill you.
Goodbye.
You're welcome in the valley, stranger.
It's a lot of ethanol. And right next door to the saloon, there's a clue at the blacksmith shop. It's this generator, which it looks like the blacksmith is actually working on. It's broken. There's a problem with the plasma guide. Science and repair skill aren't high enough to tell if he knows what he's doing.
Hello?
Oh, hi. What's up?
Hey, a new face.
You live closest to the Iron Horse. Have you ever been beyond it?
What? You mean the train? Just to the bend. Beyond that, it's nothing but desert for at least 50 miles.
Iron Horse. Seriously, man, who says that? Actually, two mole rats said that.
I should have guessed. If there's one person who'd call it that, it'd be my brother.
So you've never been out of the valley?
I didn't say that. I did the usual coming-of-age exploring thing. Climbed down the South Canyon to see why we get rad spikes in the water supply.
You have a Geiger counter?
You don't? I assumed there was one built into that wrist computer.
Well, that's why it's connected to the pump.
Most of the time it's 100% clean, but every couple of years we get a spike. The levels aren't lethal, but they're too high to ignore, so we shut down the pumps and wait it out with what we have stored. We get the occasional sixth toe and that kind of thing, but the doc says that's mostly recessive mutations from right after the war.
What did you find in the South Canyon? Evil spirits?
In a way, yeah. There's a huge toxic waste dump. They didn't even bother to bury it. But it turns out that's not causing the water problem. Water doesn't flow uphill, and if it did, we wouldn't get spikes. We'd have irradiated water all the time. It doesn't correlate with rainfall, or seasonal changes, or anything I could figure out how to fix, or even predict. So we just adapt.
Thanks for the chat.
My pleasure. Anything else?
I see you're working on a fusion generator.
It's kind of a hobby. I fool with it when I don't have a lot of other work waiting.
Well, guess I'll take the dummy answer. Not gonna work.
I'm pretty sure it will. They used a spark gap to step up voltage before they had vacuum tubes or fusion. Calibrating it's gonna be a bitch, but I've pulled apart every radio and TV in the valley and I can't find a tube with the right specs. Hey, if you ever find one with markings that say 3M6K or something close, bring it back to me. I'd trade you something good for it.
Not even gonna try that. If I find one, I'll bring it back.
Much obliged.
Confused. I don't usually associate primitive people with fusion generators.
Come again?
No offense. 2 mole rats said you had forsaken technology.
Oh, that. My brother thinks it avoids unwanted attention from outside the valley. A lot of people think it makes sense. And the rest of us play along to humor him.
Now, he just gave us a quest to investigate the water supply, so we'll do that and look for some more clues. See ya.
If my brother asks, all I said was, "Yatta hey, you are welcome in this valley, stranger."
I'll pop into the general store for a minute. No clues in here, but there are some model kits people have asked where to find. Excuse me.
Hi.
Hello.
Feel free to borrow whatever you need. If you want to keep it, you can drop off something else the next time you're here. We can always use more tools.
Okay. Anyway, here are the model kits. You can find completed models scattered around the wasteland, but if you have Wonder Glue and scrap metal, you can build all for yourself with these kits. There's another merchant across the street from the general store who is one of the people you... Oh, more hand-rolled cigarettes. Never have too many of those. Anyway, more importantly, you can convince her to be a model for the magazine, which I have been seriously neglecting the last couple of episodes. Yeah, I'll just come back when you're not busy.
Chica.
Can I buy some organic chems?
I can't put a tax on Mother Nature, man. Help yourself, but use responsibly, dig?
That seems like recreation, not medication. I'm surprised your neighbors put up with it.
You're harshing my buzz, man.
Want to pose for my geography magazine? It's all about world culture and stuff.
Yeah, dude. Natch.
Oh, she's one of the people who won't go to the studio with you. When you're doing these on-the-spot photo shoots, if you go into third-person view, you can actually see yourself taking pictures. Kind of neat. And the last clue is in the clinic, which is south of the marketplace, behind Saffrons' house. Oh, these people are actually tending that field. Yep, there's the clinic. We'll stop in here, get the clue, and then see if school is out, so Saffron will talk to us. We're looking for an auto dock, which is right there. Well stocked. Diagnostic scanner's burned out. Common problem with the Mark III, but somebody replaced it with a handmade imaging array. Neat.
Remember the potato battery we made? His fuse cell is like that. Except, instead of being oxidized by the potato, his zinc is oxidized by...
It's 3 o'clock. They're out.
oxygen. I'm pleased to meet you, stranger. We don't get many visitors from outside the valley.
Where'd you get your holovid player?
From 2 mole rats. When I was little, he loved to work on machines.
Robotics seems like a pretty advanced subject for school kids.
I'm not really teaching robotics. I just use him to make math and physical science more fun.
Okay. Would you mind if I asked some questions about the valley?
Not at all. Go right ahead.
Is the schoolhouse safe with all the evil spirits?
I suppose 2 mole rats told you that. He didn't mean literal disembodied souls of the dead. It's just that the canyon has killed a lot of people over the years, and we see the occasional predator in that direction too. The children know not to go past the warning signs, and the noise from the marketplace keeps most animals from straying this far north.
You have some unusual names like 2 mole rats.
Oh yes, he's my brother. I'm actually Saffron Breeze. Our father's a bit eccentric.
Mm-hmm. And there's something strange about this place. I can't quite put my finger on it.
We've been isolated and self-sufficient since the Great War. I'm not surprised we turned out a little differently.
That's it. The valley's like an outdoor vault.
Most of what I know about vaults comes from Vault Tech brochures, but in a way, I suppose it is. The big difference is that sometimes people leave here and never return, and sometimes people come here and never leave. It seems like the vaults would have been doomed from the start by the static gene pool.
Okay.
All right. What did you have on your mind?
Let's talk about you.
Well, I'm positive it won't seem as exciting to someone who's done the things you have, but very well.
Did you do the pilgrimage thing when you came of age, like Coyote?
I did. It was short and terrifying. You see, I knew people who faced the canyon or the desert, but wouldn't dream of going into the tunnel. I might have had a little chip on my shoulder, so that's where I went. I was going to discover where it came out. Not very far east, I found an enormous maintenance facility. They must have used it to work on trains and keep the tunnels in good condition.
Now, I've been gathering clues to prove the people who live in the valley use technology, but this is about the quest Coyote gave us, the radiation in the water supply.
Be careful, then. It's pitch black, and you won't be alone.
Go on.
I was examining these huge pumps. I was trying to figure out what they were for, when I heard something that didn't sound like a machine. Being a very rational girl, I ignored it because it had to be my imagination. Fortunately, my subconscious was looking out for me. When something grabbed me by the shoulder and sunk its claws in, I discovered my machete was already in my hand. I swung it as hard as I could.
A ghoul?
Yes, but I didn't know that at the time, and I wasn't sticking around to find out. When it let go, I ran straight back to the ladder. I'd only been gone a few hours. Everyone was surprised to see me. 2 mole rats wasn't mayor yet, but he was a legend for his map of the desert. He had a very stern look on his face. I thought he was disappointed that I hadn't stayed out more than a week, like he did. But he said, "Saffron, you know the custom. No souvenirs." He reached out and untangled something from the strap of my medicine bag. It was the ghoul's hand!
I bet that convinced him you weren't just afraid of the dark.
Oh, we laughed until we cried. Then Father started telling dirty ghoul jokes, and we laughed until we cried some more. Maybe it sounds crazy, but that was one of the best days of my life.
Well, we're about out of time, so we'll do that next episode. It's been nice.
Likewise. I have papers to grade anyway. But don't be a stranger. Stranger.